So my question was, watwera kings metekeretio kuraga. So does it mean these 10 commandments do not apply to the kings? Dena kege muhujane atwera Abraham they lied. So are we allowed to lie in some situations?
Well, what shall we say? Gwicire ni waigua karuga itariria ati Ibrahimu augire Sara ni sister yake tondu angiugire ni mutumia wake Farao ni angiamuragire.
So are we allowed to lie?
Mabirie tene. Right. In the Orthodox theology, ni kuri undu wetagwo free will. Okay? Free will ni atiriri. Ngai ni agwitikiritie we witwire itua riria ukwenda. Na nikio ungitwire itua ria kunyuaga njohi ri, Ngai ndangioka akurute njohi-ini akurehe kanitha-ini. Ngai ti wa wira ucio. Akumbire na agikuhe free will. Sawa? He has given you all the options, but it is you to do what? To make a decision. In fact, ona araikari ni mako na free will, and that's why the most beautiful angel in heaven, Lucifer, amekire decision akigwa ni I don't dikwenda gwatho guku ni Ngai uyu. Reke thodeke kamati yangu to overthrow Ngai uyu. So at the end of the day it goes to that. Ngai niakuhete free will. Riu wewe mundu ri, riu akurigana na situation area Abraham ari ri, ahonokagia muoyo wake. Riu hau free will yake ikimwira eke atia, kimenya haha no henanirie nigetha honokie muoyo wakwa na honokie wao wa Sara. So it is not a question of whether we should lie or we should not. Ni uhuthire free will yaku urio kwenda na umenye you will be answerable. Yes. Which one? King's killing. Hiyo situation yoka. Okay, kings in the Old Testament tahidiria mundu gwitwo Esther. Esther ari the queen niguo. No, even being a queen, she could not enter the king's courts unless the king lifted up his scepter amwitikirie oke. Otherwise atagioire agiagire kuoya munyamu ucio uguo, those king she would also have been subject to death. The church and the government are one and the same thing. It is the government that gave the church the freedom of worship. If you those who have attended the catechism class, I told you that before 313 AD, there was the kings were killing people who were calling themselves Christians and all that. In fact, in the Orthodox Church, when we have the throne of the bishop on the right hand, we should have another seat there. Ya modo the government ogioka. In the olden days, it was so brutal such that mudhamaki weho wetagwo Emperor Nero si mnaonaga vile watu nini like this misi ya itonga ikoragwo na matawa kuria nja makumurika njoguo, you know, either for aesthetic purposes kana kuona kiki uguo. We handu ha gwikira matawa gwake ri ni andu acinaga utuku, agakugwatia utuku ukarara ugika ati, wathira ungiakagwatio gwake utuku wothe kiria o uria thitima ingimurikire ri, acio ni andu, acio ni Christians mekaga uguo. Riu ri, when the freedom of worship came, it looks like kings did not give a complete freedom of worship. And such is what was transferred to the monarchies of the olden times, including the British monarchy. Okay? In fact, the origin of the Anglican Church means the Church of England. Yari protest ya muthamaki wa Britain, protesting from the Roman Catholic Church because Pope wa Rome ni amugiriria kudivorce mutumia wake ari nake ahiki ongi. Though in protest akiambiriria kanitha wake wa gwikati nigetha eke uria ekwenda. So the Anglican Church does not belong to Jesus Christ. It belongs to the reigning monarch of England. That is munene wa Anglican Church ni King Charles. Here in our country, our government is more British than any other thing. Na riu ugiroraga trend kau gakuma before Christianity was legalized ginya haha tuoka British go colonize. Up to now we were colonized by the British in Kenya politically, but do you know that we are still colonized by the British spiritually? Because the Anglican Church is still thriving in our country. So we are still colonized. Kings being given the power to kill, it is to protect their territory. Okay, they have to keep themselves in that seat of power, whether it's a matter of life and death. Naru kwe odo tugaga teriri at the will of the people is the will of God. Tugaga modo akwale tukaga negai waheanire na newe weka atia wasokera. No, in the real sense ni turaigwa tuthuthikite ngoro muno tondu mundu uyu ni akua ni tweheranirwo. So to me, I think it is the same concept used by kings. Ati negai tugaga muthamaki umana na iguru, negai waheanire na newe weka atia wasokera. Koguo ungihitia urehe nyoko uhoro-ini ungihitia udehere nyoko gitini giki ndaikaririo ni Ngai ri githiti wega ngigikweherie tondu agikorwo Ngai ni aheanaga nake heria ri na muthamaki uyu aumire na iguru ri aheanirwo ni Ngai ri githio nake ndakire na mahinya maria Ngai enamo. But we don't say that now our kings are our gods. But ni wiguaga ona hidiria lawyers mara address judges mametaga my lord, my lady, because they are the ones to judge whether you will live or you will die. Ithui ni twaga ko experience kaundu kau tondu the death penalty was removed in our country, but in a place like it's still there. I think El Salvador. Where is El Salvador? That's too far from us. There is a country, is it Burundi or Rwanda? Kuna mahali kwenye kulikuwa, there was this story trending online, I think this year, where an American national, it was in Congo, kwenye American national alisentensiwa to death. Yes, so a country as near to us in Congo, they have the death penalty. Who is the giver of life? It's God. And who should take life? It's God. But a judge here, wehetie odo ati ni arauga uyu gutiri dawa ingi ni oragwo. Such powers are those that are such powers are the same that are bestowed on a king. Sawa sawa. Na tukiuga God is the King of Kings, riu agikorwo Ngai ni araeheria ri ithe no yu toeherie. So it's historical. Todo Biblia onayo ri ikorwo historically. Actually ni ri ndikaririo guo ndireciria atiriri, uria twitaga Biblia ibuku ria Ngai ri, tutiagirwo kurita ibuku ria Ngai, twagirirwo kurita ibuku ria uhoro wa Ngai, tondu riandikirwo ni mundu, riandikirwo ni andu, na maundu macio mandikirwo hau ri ni maundu mekikire guku thi. Sawa sawa. So when we are reading the Bible there, we don't interpret it literally. Nitwenda kwejenjera ukamenya niki yekikaga tondu ucio ni undu wekikire tita aitheramu mauga ati Muhammad aikurukirio Qur'ani kuma iguru. Macio ni maheni. The Bible was written by human beings. Okay? But it is mohoro uria wandikirwo hau ni horo wigie Ngai. Sawa sawa. No ni andu mandikire. Acio andu megwitwa Mutha, andu megwitwa Nehemia, Isaiah, uguo. So they were writing the Bible in a context of the Jews, of the Jewish people. So maundu maya mothe mekikaga kou thini wa Jews nimo mandikirwo hau. And I like the way Judges 19 starts, that when Israel had no king. So modo ekagoria kwe. Riu, that is what we can say about kings and you know, in our case presidents killing people. It is unfortunate that they have that power, and the blood is not on their hands. Todo mudoyo aheanirwo ni Ngai, koguo ni mumwathikire emurukana emwega. Sawa sawa. And when we look at, let me just finish with this. When we look at the history of kings, especially from the Israel people, Israelites neo mandimandire ni tukwenda muthamaki turionaga na maitho ta nduriri ici gitureka atia turona. Ngai akimera muthamaki wanyu ri ni akamuraga, ni akanyitaga ciana cianyu migwate, ni akamatua ngombo, ni tukwenda ni tuhe makiheo Saulu. Riu gutiari kwega athamaki a mbere makiambiriria, koguo ona riu ti hindu gukwagira. Riu ni mundu ataukirwo umenye uria ugwikara na uria kuhana. Na the most important thing is that you be alive so that you change the government.